I stopped right in my tracks when I heard this. I was listening to the interview room tonight, and apparently inmate 214 has made complaints and he wants better bananas. No, I'm serious, and we're going to listen to it together.
Number two, I talked about Koberger, and by the way, so I have a source that pings me and goes, dude, you're not going to believe this. I'm like, what? He goes, guess what Pretzel Boy is doing now? I said, I have no idea. And that's when he told me about the bananas, the screwed up bananas. He didn't like the type of bananas he was getting in prison. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. No, I mean, you can't make this stuff up with that guy, right? He was getting bananas that probably look like this. Okay. So anyway, he hits me up and he says, yeah, he's getting all these bad bananas and he's upset, that the prison's not doing anything. And he's acting, like he's a little prima donna, because he's not getting the right bananas. And my first thought was, you do not want to mess around with hardcore inmates in a maximum security prison by telling them the food you're getting out of the kitchen aren't the right bananas. Because at some point, okay, he'll start getting visions of other types of bananas. And they may not have bruises on them. Okay? But either way, he is frustrating not only the other inmates, who, by the way, are continuing to taunt him to no end. Okay? To no end. And it's driving him crazy. And so what he's trying to do is he makes this statement of, you don't get me out of here. And and I'm paraphrasing based on the information that was fed to me. He's telling the staff, well, if you don't get me out of here, I'm going to harm myself. Now that's very vague, very ambiguous. What does that mean, Brian?
Sorry, I just have to pause it because, I mean, really? Really? He's complaining about bananas. He has confessed to murder of 4 college students in their sleep by stabbing them to death. And he is complaining about bananas. He has no idea what is just unleashed on him. I mean, if I was him, I probably wouldn't eat anything from the kitchen for a very long time. And, it just the audacity. This is what I'm saying when people were trying to figure him out. He is arrogant. He's very apparently stupid because there are politics in prison and he's in there acting like he owns the place and they're telling him he doesn't. Maybe instead of a banana, they could bring him a knife and just stab him to death like he did to other people. I mean, where does he think he is? I love Chris Madonna. This is the interview room. I'm going to link it in the description. We'll finish listening.
According to, people, he's not saying I'm going to, whatever myself. He said, I'm going to harm myself. And so he's very vague and he's very calculating about the type of language that he has utilized. Okay. Well, my source thinks that he's trying to manipulate the system to get him transferred back out of J block back to the hospital ward. Okay. And so he's in there saying, you got to get me out of here. You got to get me out of here. Okay. Well, that's not going over very well with the staff. It's somewhat problematic, actually.
I mean, what a fool. Inmate 214, I mean, it couldn't happen to a better guy. I'm so glad that the inmates at this maximum security prison have found a new bonding activity among each other to taunt him. They take turns taunting him. They cover different hours throughout the night. And I hope he never gets a solid day of rest ever again in his entire life, because he took from us these 4 precious souls, Ethan, Madison, Kaylee, and Xana. And we will remember them and we will honor them. And 214 can rot under the jail for all I care. Have a good evening, everyone.